everyone. In this video, we're going to look at diagonal properties of quadrilaterals. Different quadrilaterals, their diagonals, will have them to have different properties. The first one is a parallelogram. A parallelogram, how do you tell that this shape is a parallelogram? Diagonals bisect each other. So if you have a quadrilaterals where diagonals bisect each other, that will be a parallelogram. So when you remember our different quadrilaterals, that will be your rectangle, your square, your rhombus, and the parallelogram. All of them will be parallelograms. A rectangle and a square, properties of the diagonals of the rectangle and square, diagonals are equal. So when you have a quadrilateral and then the diagonals are equal, that will be a rectangle or a square. They are the only two that the diagonals are equal. A kite. How do you tell that this quadrilateral is a kite when we are only looking at diagonals? One diagonal bisects the other at 90 degrees. A kite, it's not a parallelogram. You remember with a parallelogram, they say diagonals bisect each other. So with a kite, it's only one that bisects the other one. So it doesn't belong to a parallelograms. And then as it bisected 90 degrees. So it means it's perpendicular. These two diagonals will be perpendicular. A square and a rhombus, the properties that they have is the same. Both diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. So this one, they will cross at 90 degrees, but it will be different from a kite. A kite, the one diagonal will be bisected, meaning it will be cut equally. The other one will not be cut equally. With a square and a rhombus, both diagonals will be cut equal. We'll use an example to show you these properties. Now we're going to talk about the diagonals and the corner angles. With a kite, one diagonal bisects the corner angles. When we say bisect, we mean it cuts it into two equal angles. So with a kite, it's only one diagonal that bisects the corner angle. And then with a square and a rhombus, both diagonals bisect the corner angles, right? So now, but with a square, how would you differentiate between a square and a rhombus? You look at the corner angles, they will be bisected, meaning that they will be cut equal. If the whole angle is 60 degrees, they will be 30-30. Now, if you have 30-30, you'll know that it's not a square because the corner angle of a square is 90 degrees. That will mean that shape will be a rhombus. Let's look at an example. We're going to look at this first quadrilateral. The name of the quadrilateral is ABCD. Now, a diagonal is this line that cuts the shape into two parts. So we have diagonal AC and diagonal BD. Now these two diagonals, they bisect each other. How do we know? This line means this one is equal to that one. That's bisecting it. And then that one is equal to that one. That's bisecting it. So now we're going to use these properties for diagonals of quadrilaterals to determine what kind of a quadrilateral is this one. Here, do you see diagonal AB and diagonal BD? They are equal. So these two diagonals are equal and they are bisected equally. So it means this shape is a parallelogram. Which one? So we go to the next one. When we look at this, they're bisected equally. So it means it's either a rectangle or a square. Diagonals are equal and the parallelogram said they bisect each other. Now, here what tells us, do you know the total corner angle of a rectangle and a square is 90 degrees? But only diagonals of a square bisect the corner angle. So this corner angle is bisected to 45. So it means this shape is a square, not a rectangle. So you look at more than one factor to determine what kind of a quadrilateral, whatever quadrilateral we are given. Our next quadrilateral, EFGH. Now we see that the diagonals bisect at 90 degrees. Three quadrilaterals, it's a kite, a rhombus, and a square. The diagonals bisect at 90 degrees. But now this diagonal is bisected by that one. There's only one that does that, which is a kite. So this shape will be a kite. It's not a square because this diagonal is not bisected. You see, it doesn't have those things that are telling us this side is equal to that one. So the longer diagonal is not bisected. It's only the shorter one. So we can say this shape is a kite. Okay, so you really need to memorize the properties, because in your exam you would not be given notes. So you need to memorize. When you are asked what shape, which quadrilateral, then you can recall from your memory and then choose the correct quadrilateral. This is the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching.